The night sky over China's heartland glowed with lightning as roaring water engulfed entire towns. Roads vanished beneath torrents that tore through neighborhoods, dragging cars, trees, and entire homes into a churning abyss. Residents screamed for help as the power grid collapsed, one by one. The lights of 1,000 cities went out, leaving only the deafening sound of floodwater and the cries of those trapped in the rising tide. The scene was apocalyptic, a catastrophe of unimaginable scale that China has not witnessed in decades. In the Hubei province, near the world-famous Three Gorges Dam, surveillance footage captured waves bursting past barriers designed to hold back millions of cubic meters of water. Entire villages downstream were swallowed overnight. Farmers who had lived by the river for generations saw their crops and livestock vanish within minutes. The floodwater, thick, muddy, unstoppable, turned fertile plains into an endless brown ocean. What began as localized heavy rain has spiraled into a national disaster. Meteorological centers report record-breaking rainfall across the Yangtze Basin, with precipitation levels exceeding those seen during the devastating floods of 1998. Bridges collapsed, highways disintegrated, and dams upstream overflowed under relentless pressure. The very infrastructure that symbolizes China's modernization, from smart cities to mega hydro projects, is now being tested to the extreme. Downstream from the Three Gorges, provinces like Anhui, Jiangxi, and Hunan face severe flooding. Entire districts have been cut off from rescue teams due to collapsed roads and submerged rail lines. Drone footage shows factory zones submerged up to their rooftops, with industrial tanks floating aimlessly in what used to be parking lots. In one haunting clip circulating online, a school building slowly disappears beneath the muddy current, its flag still waving, a painful symbol of human fragility against nature's fury. The death toll continues to climb, though officials remain cautious about releasing precise figures. Thousands are missing, and millions have been displaced. Temporary shelters are overflowing, with survivors crowding together, clutching the few belongings they manage to salvage. For many, this disaster is not only physical but deeply emotional, a reminder that even the mightiest human engineering cannot fully tame the force of nature. The Three Gorges Dam, long celebrated as one of humanity's greatest feats, is now at the center of global attention once again, but not for the reasons it was built. Reports indicate that water discharge levels have reached historic highs, forcing authorities to release massive volumes downstream to prevent total structural failure. This move, though necessary, has intensified flooding for countless communities already on the brink of collapse. Meteorologists confirm that Superstorm Maidan, fueled by warm ocean currents and unpredictable jet streams, collided with a cold front moving south from Siberia. Forming a weather system of unprecedented violence, the collision created a perfect storm, torrential rain, hurricane-force winds, and atmospheric instability stretching across half of China's territory. This storm, which originated in the Philippine Sea, gained strength as it moved toward mainland China. By the time it struck the southern coast, it was already classified as one of the most powerful storms in Asia this decade. Within hours, coastal regions like Guangdong and Fujian were paralyzed by 10-level winds. Power lines snapped, communication towers crumbled, and massive waves slammed into harbors, sweeping fishing boats miles inland. As the storm advanced inland, it unleashed record rainfall over the Yangtze River basin, the very region the Three Gorges Dam was designed to protect. However, nature's power exceeded all calculations. Meteorological radars recorded over 800 millimeters of rain in less than 48 hours. An amount equivalent to nearly half a year's rainfall. The dam's massive reservoirs filled to dangerous levels, forcing emergency discharges. In Chongqing, an elderly couple was found clinging to their rooftop for 2 days before being rescued. In Wuhan, Floodwaters reached the second floor of apartment complexes, with emergency teams navigating through submerged streets in inflatable boats. Hospitals, already stretched thin, are now treating flood victims suffering from hypothermia, injuries, and waterborne diseases. Social media platforms like Douyin and Weibo are flooded with videos showing desperate scenes. A man rescuing his dog in a floating door. Families waving flashlights from windows. Rescuers diving into dangerous currents to reach trapped children. Each clip adds to the growing realization that China is facing one of its most serious natural disasters in decades. International observers are closely monitoring the situation, not just for humanitarian reasons but also because of the dam's global significance. The Three Gorges Dam supplies over 10% of China's electricity demand. Any structural damage can cause cascading power shortages that ripple across the nation's economy. The Three Gorges Dam has always been a subject of both pride and controversy. Built to control floods, generate electricity, and symbolize China's engineering prowess, it stands as the largest hydroelectric project in the world. Yet its critics have long warned about its potential weaknesses during extreme weather events. Now, those warnings seem hauntingly prophetic. Satellite images show stress fractures forming along spillway edges, while localized seepage in auxiliary channels raises concerns about long-term stability. Engineers working at the site have been seen operating around the clock, manually monitoring pressure gauges as alarm systems blare. The Ministry of Water Resources has deployed military engineers to reinforce vulnerable sections, while helicopters dump massive sandbags into overflowing tributaries. Yet the scale of water release has already triggered a domino effect downstream. Smaller dams, unable to withstand the pressure, have burst, worsening the humanitarian crisis. As the storm begins to subside, the scale of destruction becomes clearer. Tens of thousands of homes have been lost, and damage assessments estimate billions of dollars in losses. Roads must be rebuilt, power grids restored, and water systems repaired. Yet the greatest challenge may not be physical reconstruction, but the question it leaves behind: how can humanity ever truly control nature? Experts emphasize that climate change has amplified the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. Rising sea temperatures and unstable atmospheric patterns have made Asia a hotspot for superstorms. What used to be once in a century, floods now occur every few years. In a rare statement, Chinese meteorologists acknowledge that climate variability is testing the limits of the nation's flood prevention infrastructure. The Three Gorges Dam, a symbol of human mastery over nature, now serves as a reminder that nature's patience has limits. As dawn breaks over the flooded plains, the mist rises from what was once a thriving landscape. In the distance, the silhouette of the Three Gorges Dam still stands, defiant yet humble. For now, it holds, but the scars left behind tell a deeper story. This was not just a flood, it was a warning that no matter how advanced technology becomes, humanity remains at the mercy of the Earth's natural forces. A warning that balance, not domination, must guide our relationship with nature. And as millions begin to rebuild their lives, one truth echoes across the waters of the Yangtze: the power of nature is eternal, and it demands respect.